Hello YouTube, Soggy Bottom back here to bring you another video. And this one I'm going to start talking about some of my female Marvel considered a she-devil, which is interesting. There was two characters. It was actually Red Sonja and Shauna, the she-devil. And this one I'll be talking about Red Sonja. Now this is issue 23. It is the first appearance of Red Sonja. She first appeared in Conan the Barbarian. And this is issue number 24, which is her second appearance. The thing is, about between the two books, this issue is probably seeked out the most because I think she's a lot more in the book, and the cover has a picture of her on it. It reminds me of that Hulk 181 and Hulk 180, how those controversies. But right here, I showed this one before, and this Savage Sword Conan. This is the first appearance of Red Sonja when she starts being in her chainmail bikini uniform, which becomes her trademark. Thing about now, when I started collecting Conan the Barbarian, I was really happy when they started giving Red Sonja her own run. She first appeared in now this is Marvel Feature. I think this is the beginning when they started giving her own solo series. I just actually love these books and everything like that. Was really heavy into the sword and sorcery, Dungeons and Dragon fantasy books back in the day. I always thought Red Sonja was a very sexy character, but it was more of that because of her run with Conan the Barbarian. I always thought they were going to be a couple, but of course, it wasn't meant to be. Red Sonja has one of those rules that because of what happened to her in her past, that she will now allow herself to be taken by any man unless he can prove to be her equal with the sword, which Conan has done once in one issue, but that's another story for later on. But anyway, of course, Conan's main interest was Baylet. What's really good about that is Red Sonja and Baylet, they absolutely hated each other. And I thought that was a really nice touch you give for building a character. Right here, and then I have, let me see if that comes out right. Let me see. Let's twist it. Okay, this right here is the second solo series they did a run on, because for that one they only went up to issue 7 and they canceled it. Then they brought up another one, and then this is once again Red Sonja at her best. I said this was another one. It only went for like 15 issues, but like I said, it's one of those things every month when it came out. It was one of those series I just wanted to make sure I picked up. Red Sonja was one of those characters that, like I said, she was Conan's equal. No matter what I have some statues and some glass jars of her and everything like of this character, because she's probably like one of my favorite female barbarian characters. But it's like it's one of those things. It's just, I collected it when she was just her run when she was with Marvel. When Marvel gave up the rights to her, and I think she went to Dark Horse and then did Dynamite for a while. I didn't collect too much of those series. I just collected her series when she was with the Marvel. It's not that something was wrong with the Dynamite series. It's just that the series was I can say this, the stories were really consistent. Each time, like, they were always trying to give a different interpretation of Red Sonja, which is fine, but it's just like, these are the series I came up with, and it's just like, like anything, you have your first impression of a book, and these Marvel series for me was the first impression I got from Red Sonja, and it just sort of stuck with me. They tried to do other ones like Diamond. I thought they were okay, but I didn't really get too much into them. I just collected my Marvel run, and after that, I just basically stopped. What really gets me is this was the final issue that they did. I want to say it was with Marvel, and then, of course, to me, it's like once the story started getting really good, they wind up, canceling it and everything like that. Of course, there was some other. They kept on trying to bring her back, and they had this little run right here that I have. This time it's called She Devil with the sword, Red Sonja. And this time they took her out of her chainmail uniform and they tried to put her in the this other one. To this one, they seem to have her more like a pirate. I don't know. It just didn't. The story didn't appeal too much to me. So to me, I think this is where I stopped collecting it. I stopped right here, and then, but I did every once in a while. I would pick up some covers when my man Adam Hughes did some covers. I got some of these random ones that I picked. Just like I would love to see him do a run, a complete book of Red Sonja because he does female characters very very well next to Frank Cho. And then of course there's the one with R. Adams. Right now I see him. I try to collect some of the other ones with the other covers. I think they're really nice. And but R. Adams, Frank Cho, and Adam Hughes, they did some really good jobs and some good drawings for him. Of course, this last one I'm going to show you, this is probably my all-time favorite cover of Red Sonja because it basically says it all. The picture just says everything. She was that she like no man touching her, and the only person I think she really probably had some true respect for was just more of Conan the Barbarian, and that's because he did respect her as a warrior. He treated her as an equal. So, and they had some great adventures. And I just sort of wish, these new runs of them, it's just not quite. I'm old school. My first impression, I'm stuck with that. But like, hopefully, they get some other good writers and keep them in their time era too, because they keep on bringing them into updates time era, which I don't agree with. But anyway, that's my own personal opinion of the character and the subject. But like I said, this is Red Sonja, the She Devil. Next time I get a chance, I'll probably show Shauna the She Devil when I get a chance. I'll show that one next. So that's it for this video, and thank you, and I'll catch you later.